I'm back for another quick video. I wanted to talk about mindset again, and I think that's such a big topic. So I wanted to touch on it a little bit more, give a little more detail about some thoughts I have, but also share a couple of tools that have helped me with mindset. There's so many great tools out there, and there's so many good resources, so many people that can talk about mindset and share ideas and methods for shifting mindset but I just wanted to share a couple of things that have helped me, and again, just talk about the power of that, because I think mindset can make the difference between feeling disempowered and empowerment. And so if we can connect our mindset to what we want to see happen into our healing journey, it can be really powerful and empowering. And that's been a big part of my story. I think when my mindset shifted, that was like a real good, at least on a mental level, that was a big turning point for me. So that made a big difference. And I think that's really helped me to take my healing on the next level, and also stay committed to the physical things that I choose to do, like the diet changes and some of the other things that I do on a physical level. Changing my mindset has really helped me to commit to those things and to see them differently, and not see them as like a prison or something, like, oh, I can't eat what I want to or whatever. And that's a whole different angle of mindset. But today I just want to talk about mindset in general, in terms of feeling disempowered and empowered, and as using mindset as a tool to take control and take back control of your healing journey, and of your healing process, and just even to take initial control of your intent to heal. Because I know there was a time for me where I was in kind of more of a victim mode, and when I made that shift out of victim mode, shifting my mindset, that was key. That was it. So couple things. Again, I'll delve deeper probably in one of the next videos that I do. And sorry if I have a little background noise today. I have my kids in the other room, but is just to talk about two really practical, simple things you could try if you want to work on your mindset, if you feel like you're just not in a good place mentally with regard to what you're struggling with. So one of them is journaling. Journaling can be really helpful, and it doesn't have to have any rules around it, any structure around it. I actually like just free flow journaling, and I end up a lot of times, just because it's just comes naturally to me, almost writing in a poetry style. But don't put any confines around what you write, and just write. There's structured things you can do. Like there's people like Julia Cameron, like the morning pages, if you haven't heard of that. She has a book called The Artist's Way. That's something that can help with like stream of consciousness writing, if that doesn't come naturally for you. But for me, I've found that to be something that is really cathartic. So I'm just able to sit down and just write. And if that's something that, again, you can find a tool if you need a structure around what you write. There's plenty of journals and things that will prompt you or ask you questions, like almost ask you like coaching style questions, like, oh, what would you do differently if this? So you can look for things like that to buy, like a journal that has prompting questions or statements, or suggest that you write down your values or write down things that you're thinking about. And that can be a good guide if you aren't like me and you don't just like to kind of free form write. Okay. And again, journaling can be used for so many different tools, and it can be used at different times of day and in different scenarios and circumstances, and nobody has to see what you write. It's just a way to get things out on paper. But you may want to sometimes go back and look at it, and that can be helpful to reflect and to kind of get a feel for, like, well, where is my mindset, and where are my thoughts, and what is coming out. And some of this is just analysis, and some of it's more coming from an emotional place, and emotions and the mind do connect somewhere, and so we need to understand those connections and understand the impact that the mind can have, and also know when to silence the mind. And sometimes that we have to kind of release these things and shift our focus in order to do that. So, and did talk about going within last week, and how going within is really helpful in mindset. But this week, I'm more just trying to talk about just some practical tools for helping to identify what mindset you're in, and then also helping to shift that and move that mindset into a different place. So try to kind of change the thoughts around something, like, for example, around healing or our ability to heal. It might help to jot down like, well, do I believe that I can heal? And what do I feel about my healing journey? Or is it even possible? Or where do I see myself, in the future? Where am I heading? And how do I think about it? Like, how is my mental state playing into, a potential outcome? So am I envisioning myself having a future, or am I envisioning myself just on the decline? And so kind of getting in tune with that is helpful. Okay, so journaling is one. And then the second one I want to talk about, because I don't want to be too long on this video, is affirmations. So affirmations are really important. They're really helpful, and at least they have been for me. And they can seem really silly. I know at first when I started doing them, I felt kind of silly. Like, I was like, I don't want to talk to myself. And I thought you could do them just silently. But honestly, I think they're a lot more powerful if you say an affirmation out loud. And what that is you're just saying something as though it's true and it's already happened, even if it hasn't happened yet or it doesn't seem true. So for example, it may be, maybe you're sick or you're dealing with something and you're saying, my body is healing itself. Every day my cells are working on healing. And maybe you don't believe that, really, you don't think that's happening. But when you say it, you're sort of speaking it into reality. And there's been studies on, the way the mind can impact the body and the emotions and the mental state, and the thoughts can really change our cells. And so when we're speaking to ourselves in a sense. And so it sounds kind of woo-woo or hokey or, silly, but again, don't knock it till you try it. Again, I was one of those people who's like, I don't want to say this out loud. I just feel ridiculous. And I was kind of self-judging that process, but it can be a really powerful process. And it's sort of like, some of you may be turned off by this depending on your beliefs, but it's almost like you're speaking something into reality. Again, it's almost like a spoken word spell in a sense. If that turns you off, you can just think of it differently. But yeah, it's an interesting way to sort of try to impact your reality. And really, I think the way it works, at least for me, is it's a way to speak to my subconscious, because we're conscious. The mind hears it, the mind is listening, but the mind is kind of who's judging and who's saying like, oh, this is stupid, why am I doing this? But underneath that is another observer, and that's your consciousness and your subconscious, and we're speaking to that piece, to that internal part of you. And so when I do it, I think of it like that for myself, like I'm really speaking to my subconscious. And that's, I think, where it hits us and where it impacts us, and we start to sort of magnetize and attract situations that are more in alignment with those statements. So again, for example, my body is healing itself every day. My body's getting healthier all the time. My cells are healthy. All of my cells are vibrant and healthy, and anything, I like to make up my own depending on the situation and what I'm feeling or what's going on with me. So it can be used for anything. It could be used for having a difficult discussion in a doctor's office or something like that, like saying, like, I'm going to stay strong in my words and my expression and how I state my opinion, and I'm going to be free of the influence of others in sharing my thoughts. And so you could use it for any difficult situation, but again, I like the idea of using it for shifting mindset around healing. So affirmations around that. And actually, a really good book, I think I have it over here, is I like Louise Hay. This one might be backwards, but how you can heal your life. And she's no longer around, but she has an incredible body of work and an incredible legacy. So most people, know of her in the self-help world. But anyway, she has some good affirmations if you can't think of any on your own, but try it out. It's pretty great. Okay, so that's all for today. Just a couple of tips, and I'll be back again next week. And then probably in the very near future, I'm also going to do some more videos with a friend of mine who's also a cancer survivor. And we're just going to chat and about topics that we think you guys might be interested in. So I hope this was helpful today, and hope you guys had a great holiday, those of you that were celebrating yesterday. And I know my kids had a nice day dressing up, and it was fun for them. So, okay, well, take care, everybody, and I'll be back soon. Have a good one. Bye.